What's going on, guys? My name is Juan, also known as Lost Knight, and welcome back to Dark Days. We just finished clearing out a summon co-op boss with the Dragon Rider, but what we were doing in our world was clearing this way to the Blue Cathedral first, because once you fight the Dragon Rider, the Heide Knights become hostile. So it's generally a good idea to try to do the old Dragon Slayer first. Got an old Radiant Life Gem, and I think there's a effigy in here. But yeah, so we are gonna try to do Ornstein, though I've never fought him with halbert before, so I'm also not too familiar with good old Ornstein's moveset, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. But yeah, this is the way to the Blue Sentinel's Covenant, which is the Blades of the Dark Moon of this game, right? So you seek out people that have a high sin meter, so people that invade other players and kill them, and you hunt them down. But much like the PvP thing, you have to compete to get the item. It's not like a perma item that you can reuse. It's like you have a limited supply. Here we have an old Dragon Slayer, but it's not Ornstein. We know that Ornstein from Dark Souls 3, he sought the Firstborn and went to the Dragon Shrine, or Archdragon Peak, I mean, and that's where he met his end. So he ended up joining the Dragons and the Firstborn. But this guy, he's rocking Ornstein's armor, and we see that his attacks actually don't deal lightning damage. And yeah, I think the halbert's a little too slow for this fight. We'll probably try to get a quicker weapon next time. But yeah, it's interesting. His attacks don't deal lightning damage anymore. They actually deal dark, and we can see with the butt slam that he does that he deals dark damage. So another clue that it's not Ornstein himself. Alright, we're gonna do this little run back. Probably want to go with stock for the boss fight. And the reason we are bothering at all to go that way, we're not gonna do like the Blue Sentinel's PvP or anything like that. But good old not Ornstein, he has the old Leo ring, which is the counter damage boost for thrust weapons. So being that we're going to be rocking a raid period, I think it's only fitting that we go get that thing, you know? And these guys also have a pretty deceptive telegraph on their attacks. The wind-up is kind of deceiving, but that's very on-brand from software. There's the Tower of Flame. So, yeah, if you were to go and kill the Dragon Rider, and then you tried to do this run back to get to the old Dragon Slayer, the Heide Knights would actually aggro immediately. So, right from the bonfire, you would have to fight 2 old knights and 2 Heide Knights, and then here you would have this 3-piece, and then the 2 Heide Knights that are on the other side over there. which they aggro regardless, but then the Hive Knight over there to the right, he would also aggro as well. So yeah, it's probably better to get rid of the old Dragon Slayer and then the Dragon Rider, because then there's not a real need to come back through this area. This little run back to the boss is it's pretty tough actually. But this area is quite nice. I mean, these stained glass windows on these churches or cathedrals or whatever you want to call it makes you wonder who was Heide and what was the significance of his Tower of Flame. Especially in a world where the fire and the first flame and all that is so significant that you have someone who, even in the first game they mentioned Guinevere escaped with flame, the god of flame, and it's like, hey, what do you mean there's a god of fire? We have a whole world that's like, hey, the fire is fading, what are we gonna do? And then the god of flame is just like chilling with his, you know, his girl with huge personality, you know what I mean? I don't blame him, man. If I was dating Guinevere, I'd probably be pretty distracted too to save the world. I mean, what? Oh my god. Alright, so we gotta aggro both of these, unfortunately. And thankfully the old knight is pretty slow, and the Hive Knight's pretty quick, so if we just run away, we can create a lot of distance between the two of them, letting us handle just the Hive Knight by himself. And thanks to the weapon that we're using, it's gonna take probably about, ooh, I thought I was in range. Should take one more hit to get rid of this Hive Knight. We don't want to engage them on that narrow path for obvious reasons. But it's an interesting mechanic. People complain about having to run back through Hailstone. Nice. And earlier we got a cracked red eye orb. Those are the ones you use to invade people that have a high sin meter. But yeah, I think the mechanic, the way this is intended to work, is that as you run back to the boss, you get stronger. Because you're actually collecting souls. So when you get your bloodstain back and you defeat the boss, if you haven't died in between and lost the bloodstain, you actually end up with a pretty big soul count in the end. So it allows you to level up your character or do any of the upgrades that you need to do. Can't do them twice. Oh, I guess you can. That attack came out so quick that the rest was insane. Oh, there you go. Just a perfect example of what I was talking about. So. And he walked away with his back turned to us. What a baller. That's why they give him the lance. You know, he earned it. Okay. So being that this is the first real area of the game, it's a bit more challenging than the Forest of the Falling Giants, of course. I don't think you're meant to come here right off of Majula. I think it would be pretty tough if we had come straight from Things Betwixt. So it's good that now we have a bit more damage. I don't think we put our sign. Oh wow. He was missing like just a little bit of health. Excuse me, gee. Okay. am definitely loving this halbert. Halberds in this game are some of the weapons where you notice the sweet spot mechanic the most. Like if you hit with the bladed part of the weapon, you actually do more damage than if you hit from a closer range and you hit with the pole part of the weapon. Which makes sense, being that this is a ranged combat weapon. You want to try to exploit the fact you have no range. But it seems for me right now, my biggest enemy is the lock-on mechanic. Because what the hell? Oh, ran out of stamina. There we go. Old Knight Greatsword. Hey, pretty good. So these Old Knight weapons, they are pretty strong, but their durability is abysmal. So it's kind of like a cool drop if you're a low level. We wouldn't be able to use it anyways, but they are very powerful weapons though. Kind of like crystal infused weapons in the first game, where the game gives you a few crystal weapons. Not crystal like the type of weapon crystal, but like the infused crystal, right? So they get super high attack rating, but their durability goes down to the gutter. We're actually gonna come over here and get Mr. Master Glencore, because I just want to get through this area today. Don't really want to waste too much time through hides. The design of the area is pretty cool. This crumbling fortress sinking into the ocean, but there's not really much here to go on, so we're just gonna get through the area pretty quick, and yeah. Let's see. Hit him with a firebomb. Oh, Masterless Glencore just going for it. Alright. Gotta be careful. Now we got the damage boost from having a Phantom. So if he falls and we engage with the boss, he will still have that damage increase. And then we have the Ring of Binding, similar to the... I think it's also called the Ring of Binding in Demon Souls, no? I guess he's going for it too. So in this game, if you die, your health bar actually decreases. There's a certain percentage, I think. So if you don't have human effigies and you keep dying, your health will keep decreasing. Your total health will keep decreasing. So I think this is the one that heals you. Oh no, it just increased your item discovery. Damn. I thought it was the other one. There's a coin. I think it's a coin that you can use that heals you and then restores poison as well. Or clears poison, I mean. Anyways, I forgot what I was talking about. Okay. So I guess we should probably clear this area out before summoning him, because he's kind of just running into the enemies. And we wouldn't be able to kite them because he would keep pursuing. Definitely just need... There we go. Yeah, just chug some Estus. Alright, you again. Honestly, pretty cool backstab animation. Lift up your enemy with the pole of the weapon and then drop him onto the ground. That's brutal. Jeez. Alright, and we don't have anything to buff our weapon, but we'll put this Divine Blessing just for good measure, and a little bit of Green Blossoms. I don't know how they are in this game, to be honest. I used to use them a lot, religiously, in the first game. Alright, okay, dodge didn't register, alright. I don't remember if you can get the old Dragon Slayer set. Maybe it's like a new game plus thing. Dark Souls 2 is probably the best new game plus out of all the Souls games. It actually adds a lot of features and items and things like that. Oh, he actually stunned him out of the attack. That's crazy. That's with his way hander, baby. Okay, something's up with my inputs. Maybe I'm just bad at the game, you know? I just need to get good. There we go. First try, baby. yeah, right. Alright, and we got the Leo Ring, which is going to increase our poke counter damage. And we have Blue Sentinel Targray, who apparently left the faucet on and flooded his whole domain. Come on, man. We left you in charge for a reason. Now, we don't have any, actually, we do have tokens of fidelity. Wanted to point out the sword these statues are holding looks eerily familiar. We do have some tokens, actually, so the reason we were doing some co-op. Tri-tongue bow. Okay, you guys.
Transient being. You have obtained, you may rejoice.
Yeah, so he won't talk to you unless you have a token of fidelity. So
you proud? Where then? Listen, this halbert proud.
And we learn dual bow.
Present to test.
And we can also buy a halberd here, and he sells the, oh, there we go. That's the thing that I was looking for. And bolt stone to lightning infuse your weapons, and two pretty okay miracles. Heavenly Thunder is actually quite strong, so not a bad miracle at all whatsoever. But I think this is gonna be it for today, guys. We'll go get the Dragon Rider next time. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode of Dark Days.